All right, everyone. We're going to invite everyone to take their seats. Feel free to recharge your glasses. If you've not visited the dessert buffet, this is the time to do so. Who has had a second helping? There is still so much delicious food out there. Do not be afraid if you want to have a second helping. Can we give a round of applause to the staff here at the Clarion Convention Center? All right. We're going to keep this program going. And if you've just joined us, my name is Fred Lee, and I have the pleasure of being your MC this evening. Welcome to the 23rd Annual Fraser Valley Cultural Diversity Awards, presented by Archway Community Services. I hope you're all having a good time. Let's hear it. You know, but it truly takes a village to create a special night like this evening. We also want to acknowledge our host partners, along with Archway Community Services. Let's give it up to the Chilliwack Community Services. Is Mission Community Services in the house? And Langley New Directions English Language School. Thank you, thank you, thank you for bringing us together this evening. And once again, another round of applause to our friend, the very talented Jim Kwan, for the music this evening. Thank you, Jim, for setting the tone. You can now have dinner. We saved you plenty, so no worries. Thank you, Jim. And of course, we are so grateful to all of our guests, especially our nominees, who are at the heart of tonight's celebration. We'd also like to take a moment to acknowledge some of our elected officials who have dedicated themselves to serving our community. They also know a good party when they see it. And we are so delighted that they have taken some time from their busy schedules to join us this evening. We kindly ask them to stand as we recognize their contributions, but everyone, if you could please hold your applause until the end. We have got quite an impressive list of dignitaries in the room tonight. Starting from the beautiful city of Abbotsford, we'll hear from him shortly, Mayor Ross Siemens. All right, you can applaud. Then there's the councilors, Dave Lowen, Kelly Shahal, Les Barkman, Patricia Dreesen, and Patricia Ross. And then there are neighbors from the city of Mission, Councillor Danny Plekas. From the Fraser Valley Regional District, let's give it up for the director, Corey Castle. Hello, Corey. I'll get you a better seat next year. Sorry about that. From Chilliwack, and I love their corn. I still love their corn. Councillor Jason Lum. All right. And I met your MP a little earlier this evening. Let's give it up to your MP, Sukhman Gill. Oh. I see you found the dessert buffet. All right, good. And from the Abbotsford School Board, we have trustees Arsh Kaler, Preet Rai, Rupi Kanda Rajwan, Shirley Wilson, Stan Peterson. Okay, in my script it says, now, can we all give them a big round of applause? All right, you clearly love your elected officials. And I do say thank you for your public service. Uh, it is now my honor, and please continue to enjoy your dessert. Oh, that lineup is getting longer. You may want to pause because you'll want to hear from this gentleman. It is my honor to introduce a leader who truly is committed to this community. As mayor of Abbotsford, he has been a strong advocate for inclusivity, thoughtful growth, and building a city where people from all backgrounds feel valued and welcome. This evening, he will be offering remarks on behalf of the city of Abbotsford, someone that probably needs no introduction. Everyone, please give a warm welcome to Mayor Ross Siemens.
Thank you, Fred, and good evening, everyone. It truly is an honor to be here on behalf of the City of Abbotsford and Abbotsford City Council. And I just wanted to recognize the Abbotsford Youth Council that's joining us tonight, as well as our guests. If you could please stand. And Bev Olford is the executive director. So these are 15 youth from 9 different schools across our city that give us advice and give back to the community and are basically our future. They're very involved in the community, and we just want to thank them. We were together with them last night when they presented 4 different projects to the city on things that matter to them and to the youth that they represent. So thank you. So it is always encouraging to see groups and individuals from across our region, and a warm welcome to our partners from Chilliwack, Mission, Langley. Really is an honor to have you here in our community. And we like to call ourselves the cultural and economic hub of the Fraser Valley, but we know that we also partner with you to make those cultural and economic things happen. So in Abbotsford, we are really extremely proud of our diversity. And in fact, we are one of the most diverse communities in Canada. On City Council, we value that diversity as our community's greatest strength. We get to experience that diversity and all of its benefits firsthand when we attend multicultural events and cultural events like this. Diversity is a strong, unifying force, and we can see its powers on display here tonight. And by celebrating what makes us distinct and seeing the value in one another, we create an atmosphere of acceptance where we can all feel welcome and free to be ourselves. This kind of attitude is becoming more important than ever, especially at a time when it feels like there is a lot of divisiveness in our world. The hostility towards those seen as different, and the antidote for those challenges is a greater understanding, compassion, and an open-mindedness. And these are the character qualities that we are recognizing in tonight's nominees. So please give yourselves a hand for what you do and what you represent. So congratulations to everyone that has been nominated for awards tonight. And thank you for all that you do to promote multiculturalism in your communities. Your actions are truly an inspiration to us all, and you deserve to be celebrated. And I am personally looking forward to once again presenting the Champion of Diversity Award later this evening. And Fred, I just wanted to thank you as well. I think this is 10 years that you've done this, but you were just out for another gala event earlier this month. And so I think, you're sitting with Abbotsford Council, so I think you're an honorary Abbotsfordian. So thank you to all the sponsors and volunteers for donating your time and the resources to making tonight happen. And of course, thank you to Archway Community Services for organizing this event, along with our friends from Chilliwack Community Services, Mission Community Services, and the New Directions English Language School in Langley, for giving us a place to honor and to recognize our region's diversity champions. Thank you and enjoy your evening.
Everyone, another round of applause to His Worship, Mayor Siemens. Does that honorary designation include free parking in the city? Oh, at City Hall, okay. You're gonna give up your parking spot. Yes, got it. All right, everyone. It is now my distinct pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker for this evening. Adele Gumar is an internationally respected speaker on leadership, collaboration, and hope. In a time marked by rapid change and disruption, he challenges us to reconnect with what makes us human: community, presence, and meaningful connection. He is the CEO and co-founder of GLG Limited and also an adjunct professor at the UBC Sauder School of Business, where he teaches adaptive leadership. Throughout his career, he has advised Fortune 500 companies, nonprofit organizations, and governments worldwide, and has served in roles with UNESCO and Harvard Law School. But above all, he is deeply committed to empowering the next generation of leaders and strengthening the communities that they serve. Everyone, please give a very warm Fraser Valley welcome to Adele Gumar.
Thank you, Fred, for that warm welcome. Good evening, everybody. I don't think the mic is working. Let me try that again. Good evening, everybody. There we go. Mayor Ross Siemens, nominees, committee members, volunteers, and staff, it is truly an honor to stand in front of you here tonight. For more than 20 years, and I've just learned this is the 23rd year you're having these awards. For over 2 decades, the Fraser Valley Cultural Diversity Awards have lifted up people and organizations doing the quiet work, everyday work of building community, because it takes daily routine. That work matters. It shapes lives. It strengthens belonging. It reminds us of who we can be when we choose inclusion over indifference. To be part of a night that honors that spirit is deeply meaningful for me. Tonight, we gather at a time when conversations about diversity, immigration, and identity aren't abstract. They're urgent, they're emotional. They're shaping elections, policies, and the tone of public life. Today, we see this more pronounced, and it might be easier for us to notice across the border, but we see it more pronounced in the United States. We're witnessing debates that question the value of newcomers. We're seeing communities polarize of who belongs and who doesn't. We're watching rhetoric that makes some families feel uncertain about their place in the only home they've ever known. And Canada doesn't exist in isolation from all of this. We are neighbors to the United States. We share media, we share economic ties, we share cultural currents. What happens south of the border influences conversations right here at home around immigration levels, around integration and belonging, around what kind of country we want to become. But tonight, I want to suggest something that's very important. Canada isn't simply reacting to global currents. Canada has a choice. And we've always chosen, at our best, a different path. And choosing that path has never been simple. Because the story of Canada has always been a story of identity, of history, and complexity. I know this personally. I have the privilege to be married to a deep family of Quebecois. My wife, or my in-laws, are Beaulieu's. noble family that traces its roots back to New France, which we call Quebec. They're from the Gaspésie. In the 1600s, they came across to this new land of opportunity. This family with generations of history, roots that run deep in its language, culture, and traditions. Around the dinner table, when I visit the in-laws in Quebec, I'm reminded that that identity isn't abstract. It is lived, it's cherished, and it is protected. And as someone who has reflected deeply on debates like Bill 21, I understand that questions of secularism, culture, and belonging aren't simple. They touch history, they touch memory, they touch fear and pride, all at the same time. But what I've learned, both in my own family and in our broader country, is this. We can honor heritage without closing the door. We can protect culture without diminishing human dignity. We can disagree on policy and still defend one another's humanity. Our country isn't perfect, and frankly, that was never the point. We're still learning. We're still reconciling. We are still growing together, and we're still defining what a more perfect country might be. A more perfect country. And what I mean by this isn't that we need perfection. It means continual improvement. The idea that our country is always growing, working to become better, fairer, and more united. You see, our national story has never been shaped by people who've arrived, has been shaped by people who've arrived with hopes in their hands and courage in their hearts. Immigrants, as we know, never have weakened our country. In fact, the opposite. They build it. They build our businesses. They staff our hospitals. They teach in our classrooms. They serve in uniform. They start charities. They serve in little leagues. They open up barbershops, salons, restaurants that become places where we convene and build community and belonging. They actually strengthen the fabric of this great country. Just look across this community here tonight, and you will see that truth every single day. Diversity isn't a slogan here, and I'm learning that if indeed Abbotsford is one of the most diverse, if not, as the mayor, his worship said, the diverse, I've got a lot of learning to do. I got to spend some time here in Abbotsford. But this is a lived reality. It's not slogans. It is neighbors sharing food across cultures. It is interfaith leaders standing together at times where we find it's easy to divide. It is small businesses that are owned by newcomers who hire locally and give back generously. I told my wife I'll try not to get too emotional. You talk about diversity and inclusion, especially about this beautiful country that I call home. It's very hard not to get emotional. Our country has also been built by young people, as his worship has recognized the Youth Council. Young people growing up fluent in more than one language, more than one worldview. That's not weakness, that is resilience. But resilience doesn't happen by accident. It flourishes because people like those being honored tonight, the seemingly ordinary people, people who do the quiet work, the everyday work, the work that doesn't always make headlines. Each of you builds bridges where others see walls. You create spaces of belonging where others see difference. You choose dialogue when it would be pretty easy to retreat. You choose love of community over hate of others. And as Bad Bunny said, now you know I'm going to have to quote my guy, Bad Bunny, what an extraordinary Super Bowl halftime show, where people said, why isn't he speaking English? Are you going to ask an opera singer to not speak Italian? Bad Bunny is singing in Spanish. But as Bad Bunny reminded us, he says, quote, when he won his last award, he said, quote, hate gets more powerful with hate. The only thing more powerful than hate is love. And he's right. Bad Bunny is right. Love is powerful because it's also a choice that we make. because choosing love has never been the easy path for our country. We have been here before. There have been moments in our nation's history when fear spoke louder than our values. Moments when our country struggled to live up to the promise of dignity and belonging. Let's call it what it is. We have been here before. Indigenous children were ripped apart from their families and placed in residential schools where their languages and cultures were suppressed in an attempt to erase who they were. Noble. Yet Indigenous nations endured, carrying forward their traditions, their wisdoms, and their relationship to this very land. We have been here before. In the 1840s, Irish families fleeing famine arrived on the shores of this country, impoverished and desperate for survival. Many were met, not with welcome, but with suspicion, blamed for disease, poverty, and competition for local jobs. We have been here before. Chinese workers who helped build the Canadian Pacific Railway, once the tracks were laid, they were met with exclusion, forced to pay a Chinese head tax, and later barred from entering the country altogether. We have been here before. In the 1930s and the 1940s, Jewish families fleeing the horrors of the Holocaust sought refuge, and Canada's response was summarized in a phrase that still haunts our conscience today: none is too many. That was the policy at the time. We have been here before because during the Second World War, more than 22,000 Japanese Canadians were uprooted from their homes, stripped of their property, and sent to internment camps simply because of their ancestry. We have been here before. In 1946, a businesswoman who had her own salon, her car broke down. It was cold that night. She decides to buy a ticket to watch a movie in Nova Scotia, New Glasgow. Her name is Viola Desmond, a black woman. She refused to leave a whites-only section in the theater. She exposed an injustice that many preferred not to see. You see, history reminds us that fear has visited this country before. And yet each time we have faced these moments, Canadians found the courage to look honestly at our past and move closer to the country we aspire to be. That is relentless optimism. Relentless optimism doesn't deny these chapters in our story. In fact, it forces us to learn from them. That is the spirit of our country, a spirit that is grounded in Indigenous wisdom and generosity, hands raised to the heaven in gratitude as they welcomed all immigrants to these lands, a spirit that welcomes before it judges, that understands hospitality as strength, that sees newcomers not as threats, but as neighbors worth of dignity. And in a moment when fear can travel faster than facts, when outrage can trend faster than understanding, when division can be amplified by algorithms, our work is not small. It is essential. Relentless optimism means that we are refusing to let fear define the narrative, that it means acknowledging challenges while not turning them into scapegoats. We can face housing pressures. We can face and address affordability issues. We can work together on any challenge without turning on one another. Immigration policy can be debated. It can be debated thoughtfully. But the dignity of human beings is never up for negotiation. That should never be up for negotiation. Shared humanity isn't sentimental, it's practical. When people feel like they belong, if you want an ulterior motive, they actually contribute. They build the economy. They create jobs. If you really wanted a bottom line rationale, if people belong, they contribute. Because I assure you, every immigrant has a story of perseverance, of hardship, to even just make it to the shores or to the airports. Inclusion should never be seen as charity. It is nation building. A more perfect Canada will not be inherited by accident, which is why we must build it. The lights are on. Did I say something right? Why now? Why didn't you? I mean, I'm not sure which one's better. Let there be light. My guy Malcolm who's filming said, do you ever go off script? And I said, you just got to be in the room, and then something always happens. The light was just turned on. Building our country needs to be deliberate. It needs to be built on generosity and togetherness. Now, I'm closing soon. The Fraser Valley Cultural Diversity Awards really is a wonderful reminder that progress often comes quietly. And for the many nameless, seemingly ordinary people that are going to be honored today, whether you're a nominee or a winner, regardless, you are who I call the seemingly ordinary doing the extraordinary. These come through your services of the community, whether it's mentorship, whether it's language classes that you host, after-school clubs, youth initiatives, partnerships between municipalities, schools, businesses, and faith groups. This is the good work. It comes when ordinary citizens decide to bring people together as opposed to divide. To the young people in the room, you're growing up in a world where identity is complex, where global news reaches your phone instantly, where you see both beauty and brokenness in real time. You may sometimes feel caught between cultures, between expectations, between narratives about who you're supposed to be. Hear me clearly. Don't despair. Hope is what allows us to see the light through darkness. Don't surrender to cynicism, because that is the opposite of optimism. It is a choice, consciously or unconsciously. If we don't want to be optimistic, the alternative is to be cynical. Don't be cynical, and don't retreat into indifference. Choose optimism, the kind that builds, that listens, that reaches across differences and reminds us that even in uncertain times, our shared humanity can guide our way forward. You don't have to choose between the parts of yourself. The hyphens is not a liability, it is actually an advantage. You can be proudly Canadian and deeply connected to your heritage. You can carry multiple stories and still walk confidently in one direction. That is the Canadian promise at its best. And for those of us that are not so young, who've been here for generations, your leadership matters just as much. Inclusion isn't a responsibility of newcomers alone. It is belonging that is a shared project. Relentless Optimist calls each of us to ask ourselves, what kind of country are we going to build? One that is narrow or one that is expansive? One that defines itself by fear or one that defines itself by possibility? Because as we've seen, history has shown us something very powerful. Societies that close themselves off stagnate, but societies that harness inclusivity and diversity, they innovate and they thrive. Canada's competitive advantage isn't just in its natural resources, it is the social capital. It is the trust in each other. Our ability to live with differences, still believe in shared future. That future won't build itself, it is counting on each of us, which is exactly what we're doing here tonight. So let us continue this work together. Let us be optimistic, relentless optimists, and choose inclusion over indifference, choose dignity over division. Let us choose the harder path, a path to build a more perfect Canada. I want to thank you for your time, and if I overspoke or took more time than I need to, or wiped my nose one too many times, I hope you're going to forgive me. Congratulations for all the nominees and for all those who are going to win, and I really take this as a privilege and an honor to be with you tonight. Thank you very much for inviting me.
No, not at all. Thank you, Adele, for those very powerful and thought-provoking words. And I do believe your message reminds us that leadership is not simply about position or title. It is about presence, courage, and our shared responsibility to build stronger and, as you mentioned, more connected communities. So we are truly grateful for the insight, the wisdom, the optimism that you have shared. Everyone, please give another round of applause and thanking Adele Gamar. I believe we have a gift. Yes, there it is. It's a bag full of optimism right there. Yes, take that with you, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Well done. Well done. All right, everyone. I hope you keep that with you and take that with you home tonight. And I hope you walk just a little taller to know how proud you should be of your community and what this community brings to everyone, whether they're new to this community or a resident of this community. I am incredibly proud to be part of this community and just so thankful to know all of you. I'd also like to thank now the incredible individuals who've had the tough task of selecting this year's award recipients. And that, of course, is our esteemed 2026 awards judging panel. We thank them for their dedication, their thoughtful consideration to help shine a light on the remarkable achievements we're celebrating tonight. So judges, as I call your name, please stand up so that we can show our appreciation. Allison Gutrath. Crystal Biela. Darla Peters. Samaya Adam and Taylor Wilson. Let's give them a big round of applause. And speaking of excellence, I'd now like to introduce our 2026 nominee sponsor, the Honda Way. Yes. They represent a company that has been a pillar of the Abbotsford community for 4 decades. It has become a cornerstone of automotive excellence. I love my Honda. Please welcome to this stage Hash Tour General Manager at the Honda Way, Abbotsford.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Hash. I'm the General Manager at the Honda Way, and I'm also the man with the hardened task of following Adele after his amazing speech. It's an honor for me and the team to be here tonight. At the Honda Way, we're guided by a few core values that essentially, with respect, inclusivity, and empathy, it is our driving force. And we work hard to create an environment where our team, our clients, and our community feel heard, valued, and welcomed. And that commitment doesn't stop at our dealership, because we believe the Fraser Valley is strongest when people from different cultures, different backgrounds, feel a true sense of belonging. And when we support the leaders and organizations who build these bridges every day, like yourselves. Tonight, the nominees we're celebrating represent the very best of that work, shaping our businesses, our schools, our communities, where more people feel included, respected, and understood. On behalf of the Honda Way, we want to thank you for what you do and congratulate every nominee this year. As a committed sponsor of the Fraser Valley Cultural Diversity Awards, we're proud to recognize the remarkable people and organizations who have helped shape more inclusive and diverse communities. Tonight, we have the pleasure of reconnecting with 2 of last year's recipients to hear how their journeys have unfolded since receiving their awards and how the impact of the experience has had on their work. Let's hear their stories.
Indigenous cause, Fishing Lake Nindonjaba. Hello, my name is Marcella Sunshine, and that name I just shared is my traditional name. It's an Anishinaabe name for woman life leader. So I got that this summer from one of our elders out from Fishing Lake, and that's in Saskatchewan, but I grew up out here in British Columbia.
I lived in Abbotsford most of my life. My grandparents immigrated here in the late 60s, and my mom was born and raised here, and my family's grown up here as well. I now work as an instructional leader in the Abbotsford School District.
Viper was born at a youth overdose prevention site / homeless shelter in Mission, BC in 2020. You know, I was a young person who was homeless for a couple of years, and I was entrenched in drug use. So when I seen this job open, it just felt like a calling. I'm like, I have to go there. We have to go, keep our young people safe. And so you need something to look forward to. And so in Viper, we started these weekly meetings. We did haircut days for the homeless, we had like fun days, we did educational days, and we had all the young people who were kind of going through the shelter leading these things.
Every day in our home, it was modeled that if somebody needs something, you help people out. For me, the first thing that I had to give was basketball, because my dad and uncle were coaches, and we just grew up in the gym, and it was a natural progression to coach.
We had no idea what we were doing, but we knew we needed support, and we needed a little bit of funds, and we needed a location. So because the place where Viper operated was out of Mission, we thought, well, let's do it here in Mission, BC. That a powwow hadn't been hosted there in over 20 years. Yeah, we hosted a powwow there in 2022. Over 5,000 people showed up over that weekend, and that weekend changed everything. Nobody wanted to leave. And so all these youth all together, we made it our mission and our vision right there. Every single Indigenous youth across Turtle Island needs to have access and feel empowered by their ancestral roots. And I think one of the biggest impacts Viper has made is changing the narrative from Indigenous trauma to Indigenous brilliance.
There's something so special about getting to support and challenge kids. You help them change the narrative that they have about themselves. You help them encounter failure and walk away still with a positive self-concept.
I mean, I look at the young people and they have so many ideas. They are leading the work.
Anywhere we go, we see the kids that we coached or the kids that we taught, and they're out there doing the work now. They're coaching, they're teaching.
I think these awards are important because it showcases culture in the first place. But beyond that, the people who put all the energy and effort into these projects, I mean, people put themselves and their identity on the line for some of these things.
We are facing adversity, doing the work of promoting diversity and fighting for equity. And so this just shows that as a community, we support the work and we're behind all the great people doing it. It's nice to be reminded that you're not alone in the work that you're doing.
To be there with our youth and to hear Viper in the sound system, I mean, I looked around and we all jumped up in joy, and like the young people we work with, they claimed that.
Thank you for the work that you've done. You're making a difference, and you've already won by being in this room.
We tell our young people, go for it. Always, always go for it. Don't ever pass up an opportunity. Dream as big as you possibly can and just go for it. There is, I don't know how else to say it. I'm getting all passionate.
Keep going. You're doing a great job. You're making a difference, and you can know that you're doing the right thing even when you face adversity if you're doing it with love in your heart.
A huge congratulations to all the other nominees, and it takes a whole village to do this work, so just know, we see you, we hype you up, and we love you.
Honestly, how can you not feel that love? Did you see those smiles on their faces? Just keep doing what you're doing. Are you all feeling inspired? I'm looking at this youth table. Are you feeling inspired? Well, are you all ready for the moment we've been waiting for? This year, as we've shared, we received over 60 nominations, each representing outstanding individuals, businesses, and organizations who embrace and celebrate the rich diversity and inclusion in the Fraser Valley. Our 2026 nominees embody diversity in all its forms, whether it's gender, equality, race, ethnicity, age, religion, sexual orientation, abilities, or socioeconomic background. Every nominee in this room is truly making a difference. This year, the nominees were given the opportunity to share their stories in an interview hosted by our friends Civil Radio, CIVL. I encourage all of us to head over to Civil Radio to hear the recordings and learn more about our amazing nominees. I think it's about time that we invite all of them to please stand so that we can acknowledge your contributions. Can we get all of our 64 nominees to stand, please? Woo! Make some noise, everyone! Woo! Know that you are all already winners. You are absolutely winners, each and every one of you, and continue doing what you're doing. Continue to uplift one another and your community. As we now move into the awards categories, here's just a couple of quick housekeeping notes. Each category sponsor will first recognize all the nominees before announcing the award recipient. If your name is called, we invite you to come up to the stage, and once again, as WorkSafe would say, please use the provided stairs to enter and exit safely. And once on stage, we're going to invite you to take a moment to pause for a photo with our official photographer, along with the category sponsor. Then, of course, you're welcome to share a few words after receiving your award. And please don't forget that afterwards, we're going to invite all of the award recipients to come back for a class of 2026 photo that we'll get to share with everyone, including the media. And with that, I'm going to invite my dear friends, Muhi Bakini from Archway Community Services and Min Pham for helping us on stage with the awards this year. Where is Muki and Min? There they are. You have the important responsibility of looking after our awards. Okay, you get that side, you get that side, all right. Make sure you look after the awards. I do not want to see one drop this year. If you joined us last year, we had an awards malfunction. That will not happen this year. It was only because we were very excited, that's all. Are we ready? Yes, okay. We begin our awards this evening with the category Inclusive Environment, Small Organization. This award recognizes organizations with 25 or fewer staff and or volunteers who are leading the way in embracing cultural diversity and accessibility, creating beautiful spaces where individuals feel valued, supported, and empowered to thrive. It is a privilege to celebrate those who are building inclusion from the ground up within their communities. To present this first award, please join me in welcoming Anastasia Liu, Archway Interpretation and Translation Services Program Manager.
Thank you, Fred, and good evening, everyone. At ITS, our interpreters show the power of inclusion every day. Imagine you're sitting in a doctor's office, anxious because you can't speak the language. You feel alone and small. Then an interpreter walks in, someone who understands not just your language, but your culture. Suddenly you feel safe, supported, and understood. And trust begins. That's the power of inclusion. And that's exactly what this award celebrates. The nominees for the Inclusive Environment Small Organization Award are
Archway Dance, Binary Freedom Foundation, Handal Counseling Center, KPU Employment and Community Studies Entrepreneurship, Langley Pride Society, Pearson Ecological Limited, the Learning Circle Childcare and Daycare, Wachia Métis Society,
Sorry. And the recipient is Wachia Métis Society.
Wachia Métis Society is a not-for-profit community chartered under Métis Nation, British Columbia, serving Métis citizens across Langley and White Rock through culturally grounded programs that foster identity, belonging, and connection. With nearly 950 citizens, they deliver youth engagement, cultural education, entrepreneurial support, and inclusive initiatives for women, elders, 2S LGBTQIA+ members, and neurodivergent citizens. Their mission is to preserve Métis heritage while building a thriving, inclusive community across the Fraser Valley.
Thank you. On behalf of the Wachia Métis Society, I want to say thank you. I'm receiving this on their behalf because they were unable to make it this evening, but thank you very much. Thank you.
Well done. It's hard being the first, but you all did that beautifully. So now everyone needs to just follow suit if we call your name. We now move to our next award category. Once again, Inclusive Environment, Large Organization. This award recognizes organizations with more than 25 staff and/or volunteers who have demonstrated a strong commitment to creating inclusive, welcoming, and equitable environments. This year's award is proudly sponsored by my dear friends, WorkSafe BC. To present this award, please join me in welcoming Jody Levine, Vocational Rehabilitation Client Services Manager.
Good evening, everyone. As Fred mentioned, my name is Jody Levine, and I'm a manager in the Vocational Rehabilitation Department right here in Abbotsford for WorkSafe BC. It's a pleasure to be here with you all tonight as part of an event that celebrates inclusion, community, and leadership across the Fraser Valley. At WorkSafe BC, our work is grounded in promoting safe and healthy workplaces through prevention, education, and support for injured workers. We see every day how workplace culture and environment shape people's ability to feel safe, supported, and able to participate fully. Inclusive environments matter because safety isn't only physical. When people feel respected, valued, and included, they're more likely to speak up, to ask for help, and stay engaged, all of which contribute to healthier and safer workplaces and communities. From my own work in vocational rehabilitation, I've seen how inclusion plays a critical role in recovery and return to work. When environments are welcoming and flexible, people are better supported to regain their confidence, to rebuild routines, and re-enter the workforce in meaningful ways. That's why WorkSafe BC is proud to sponsor the Inclusive Environment Large Organizations Award. This award recognizes organizations with over 25 staff or volunteers that go beyond intention and take meaningful action to create spaces where people from diverse backgrounds feel respected, supported, and able to thrive. We at WorkSafe BC also want to take a moment to acknowledge this year's nominees. Perhaps more than ever, it's important to recognize and amplify efforts that foster inclusion. Your leadership and commitment to creating inclusive environments is making a real difference, not only within your organizations, but across our broader community. And now it's my honor to present the nominees for the Inclusive Environment Large Organizations Award.
Ann Davis Transition Society, Shallow Fresh Co., Abbotsford. Chilliwack Hospice Society. Free Store Chilliwack and Social Development Society. Mark's, Abbotsford. Old Hand Coffee. Sarah for Women's Society. The Chilliwack Youth Health Center. Tydell Foods.
Okay. And the 2026 recipient is Free Store, Chilliwack, and Social Development Society.
Free Store Chilliwack and Social Development Society is a grassroots nonprofit providing free access to food, clothing, household goods, and essential supports for individuals and families across Chilliwack and surrounding communities. Serving more than 4,700 families each year, they operate dignity-based programs ranging from food security and youth initiatives to seniors support and crisis outreach. Their mission is simple but powerful: to remove barriers to basic needs and create a welcoming, stigma-free community where everyone is treated with respect and care.
Hi, everybody. I'm actually not from this amazing agency. I get to partner with them. I'm with Chilliwack Community Services, and it is an honor to receive this. They are a truly fantastic agency doing really, truly impactful work in Chilliwack, so it's an honor to receive it on their behalf, and I look forward to celebrating with them at a separate time. So have a great evening. Thank you.
Congratulations. Everyone, we now turn our attention to the Innovative Initiative Award. This category celebrates individuals and organizations who champion diversity in bold and creative ways. Initiatives that inspire change, foster understanding, and strengthen the fabric of our community. This year's award is proudly sponsored by Envision Financial Credit Union. It is my absolute pleasure to invite Vanessa Simbron, branch manager of Envision Financial's Town Center branch, to present this award.
Thank you so much for inviting me tonight. The Fraser Valley Cultural Diversity Awards are important as they recognize individuals, organizations, and businesses who are actively creating welcoming and inclusive spaces within our communities. These awards shine a light on leadership, collaboration, and cultural understanding, while celebrating the diversity that makes the Fraser Valley stronger. Guided by our mission, together we create a future where everyone can flourish. Envision Financial is proud to support these awards. By uplifting diverse voices, together we help build connected, resilient communities and create meaningful impact across the Fraser Valley. With that being said, the nominees for the Innovative Initiative are
Abbotsford Junction Recovery Community Centre, Canadian Vocational Training Centre, Community Angels Food and Housing Support Society, Geographies of the Heart, Stories from Newcomers to Canada, Langley Pride Society, Langley Volunteer Bureau, Love Without Borders, Mill Lake Walk Series, Power for All Adventure Therapy Society, Project AIM.
Congratulations to all the nominees. The winner tonight is Geographies of the Heart, Stories from the Newcomers to Canada.
Geographies of the Heart, Stories from Newcomers to Canada brings together voices from privately sponsored and government-assisted refugees, refugee claimants, international students, and economic immigrants, each sharing powerful first-hand experiences of coming to and living in Canada. The collection challenges us to see the immigration landscape with greater depth and humanity. Spearheaded by Raymond Tickner, the project honors the complexity and diversity of newcomer journeys.
Well, wow. Good evening. I think, Adele, I need your Kleenex. This nomination belongs to 24 people. And number one, it belongs to Muyi, because
It belongs to you.
Muyi approached me in he was a student of mine years ago, 100 years ago, right? And
Long time.
he told me his story of escape from South Sudan. And I did not realize anything about Sudan. And even now I'm horrified by the ridiculous atrocities there, the horror that's going on. And Muyi told me a story, and I said to him, you know, Muyi, you need to write a book. This is an important narrative. And he said, well, I'm working 2 jobs. I'm getting my master's degree at UBC. I'm supporting my wife and my 2 teenage daughters. And you know what, Raymond, I don't have time. I said, yeah, no kidding. I said, well, could you write a chapter? And so the books began. This was in 2019. We worked all the way through COVID online. The book is Geographies of the Heart and Stories from Newcomers to Canada. It's an important collection of 18 narratives of people who are newcomers to Canada from 14 countries. And resilience is and optimism, relentless optimism, I think are the words that would characterize the people who tell their stories. So thank you. I want to also make sure that other people in this room who contributed chapters in this book and who also contributed to making this book happen, stand up, you guys. Stand up. Woo! And Allison, where are you? Allison Gutreth? Yes. Allison recognized the importance of this book and the people who were writing when she was doing Muyi's job at Archway. And she donated honorariums to 7 of the people who actually worked at Archway and who had graduated from the University of the Fraser Valley. So thank you, Allison. Your contribution at that time was significant. Thank you. And Paula Mannington, would you stand up? Paula? Paula has been a friend of mine since 2007. We worked together in China, and she gave me a list of people from Archway who she felt should be telling their stories. So please go to UBC Press, go to Amazon, buy this book, read it at nighttime before you go to bed, read it over a cup of coffee. All the royalties go to Archway. Thank you. I probably talked too long. No, not at all.
All right, we're going to get a photo.
Yes.
Congratulations. And I agree. I think every one of us should go and get a copy and make it a bestseller. Congratulations. All right. Our next award, everyone, is the Intercultural Arts, Culture, and Events Award. This award is new this year. Nominees of this category build cultural diversity awareness through art, media, cultural groups, and events. This award is proudly sponsored by Prospera Credit Union. Everyone, please give a warm welcome to Serby, the assistant manager.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Serby. I'm Assistant Manager, West Oaks Branch, Prospera Credit Union in Abbotsford, a truly proud local Abbotsford resident. It is an incredible honor to be here tonight at the Fraser Valley Cultural Diversity Awards, an event that celebrates the many cultures that shape our communities and the shared commitment to fostering understanding and inclusion. Cultural diversity is about more than recognizing our traditions, languages, and experiences. It's about bringing them together in meaningful ways. When we do that, we create a community that is vibrant, welcoming, and full of opportunities for people to contribute and be recognized. With that, the nominees for Intercultural Arts, Culture, and Events are
Abbotsford School District Mother Language Day, Belonging Matters Consulting, Chilliwack Malayale Association, Fort Langley Jazz and Art Festival, Frank Talaber, Fraser Valley Community Integration Services Society, Ken Ryu Jiu-Jitsu Society, Langley City Village Cafe Series, Langley Global Fest, Mission Folk Music Festival Society, Sarah Lucy Event Design, Tommy Green Art, What's on Mission magazine and online.
I guess I'm more nervous than the winners. And the 2026 recipient is Mission Folk Music Festival Society.
The Mission Folk Music Festival Society is a long-standing, community-based nonprofit that has been celebrating live music, storytelling, and cultural exchange in Mission for nearly 4 decades. Best known for its 3-day Mission Folk Music Festival at Fraser River Heritage Park, the Society also presents year-round concerts, outreach programs, and cultural events supported by more than 350 volunteers. Their mission is to preserve and nurture folk, roots, and emerging music while bringing people together through diverse cultural experiences across the Fraser Valley.
Thank you so much. It is our sincere privilege to be able to do this work and to be able to do this work for 39 years in our community. And that takes a lot of hands, a lot of music, a lot of song. And so we are so, so grateful for the continued support of a lot of people in this room, the City of Mission, people across the Fraser Valley. It has been, I've been with the organization for since 1991. And it is indeed a family, and as Adele said, it's about creating those spaces of belonging and community. And so I am very grateful to receive this on behalf of our board, on behalf of former board members, and our 350 volunteers, and we encourage you to come and hang out with us this summer in July. Thank you so much.
I think it's a milestone this summer, hey? 40th? 39. Don't want to get ahead of ourselves. All right, we're all invited to the 39th Folk Music Festival. Congratulations. All right, everyone, our next award is always a very special one. It is the Youth Champion of Diversity Award. The award recognizes young leaders ages 12 to 17 who are truly making a difference by fostering inclusivity and building a more welcoming society. We are incredibly grateful to the Abbotsford School District for their support of this award. The district has 46 schools with over 90 languages spoken. They are proud to support this event which highlights some of their community's incredible champions. Everyone, please join me in welcoming Stan Peterson, Chair of the Abbotsford Board of Education, a dedicated community leader and longtime champion of public education who brings, I'm told, decades of experience, Stan, and a deep commitment to supporting students and families.
Thank you, Fred.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Wow, decades. I've been around for a long time. Anyhow, you know what? We all know the huge strength in our communities and in our schools because of our diversity. In fact, in Abbotsford, and I'm going to get the number even bigger than that, 90, our school district supports more than 100 languages in our schools. That's amazing. And each of the cultures represented by those languages adds to the positive mosaic of our classrooms. And for that reason, the Abbotsford Board of Education is extremely proud and pleased to once again support this award. And the nominees for the Youth Champions of Diversity are
Arushi Harish, Elan Chow, Harishvin Sasakumar, Isabella Wen, Kun Zhao.
And I think somebody's going to give me an envelope. All right. And the winner is, I'm a retired middle school principal. I need a drum roll. And the winner is Elan Chow.
Elan Chow is a grade 12 French immersion student at W.J. Mowat Secondary School who is deeply committed to equity, anti-racism, and inclusive community building. Proud of her Chinese, Malaysian, and Iraqi Jewish heritage, she leads through Student Voice, Thrive Leadership, and the Green Team, while also mentoring young musicians through her work as a teaching artist at Bakerview Music Academy. Outside the classroom, Elan studies violin and viola at the Vancouver Symphony Orchestra School of Music and brings that same care, curiosity, and connection to everything that she does.
Thank you everyone for being here tonight, and congratulations to all the other nominees and champions of diversity this year. I would like to say a big thank you to 3 organizations who have really accepted me within their community and have really pushed me to really get involved within the community. And the first of those is Bakerview Music Academy, who has given me the opportunity to help teach violin and other string instruments to youth across the community who would otherwise not be able to afford music lessons. As well, I would like to thank Thrive Leadership, a program at Mowat, who have invited me within their community as an Indigenous ally to help conduct school and community events surrounding Indigenous culture. And last but not least, I would like to thank W.J. Mowat Student Voice and all the other youth who have helped me and contributed to creating more inclusive environments at Mowat. Thank you so much.
Well said. Congratulations. I think we can all agree our youth are the next generation of change makers, and it is truly inspiring to see them already making such a meaningful impact in their schools and throughout our community. Congratulations to all of our nominees. Your leadership gives us great hope for the future. And believe it or not, everyone, we have now arrived at our final category of the evening. Yes, the Champion of Diversity Award. And this year we received an astounding 19 nominations in this category. Truly a powerful reflection of the meaningful work being done across our community to foster inclusion and celebrate diversity. The Champion of Diversity Award recognizes an individual whose commitment goes beyond words. Someone who leads with courage, compassion, and lasting impact. As a valued event sponsor and community partner, the City of Abbotsford plays an important role in making this evening possible. It is therefore our honor to welcome back Mayor Ross Siemens to present the Champion of Diversity Award. Ross.
Well, thank you again, Fred, and I couldn't be more proud to be the mayor of such an amazing community. And yeah, so thank you for being here. And again, I think the nominees are going to be a little bit difficult to choose. There's 19, I know many of them, but it really is an honor. The City of Abbotsford, we take diversity, equity, and inclusion very seriously, and it is truly an honor to be here with council tonight. And the amount of councillors that are here, I think, really does testify to the fact that this matters. And without further ado, the nominees are
Aaron Levy, Brett Devlou, Brigida Crosby, Donvir Dhaliwal, Doug Hughes, Gurdeep Gary Kalati, Gurmeen Banapal, Inez Montoya, Jane Jogu, Joseph Logan, Katrina Ovens, Leanne Cassap, Mike Pearson, Miyako Ando, Nihal Azal, Rudy Stortaboom, Sahil Sharma, Sukhman Gill, Ted Udelson.
This would have been very difficult to choose from 19 amazing people. And so you are all worthy of the award, but only one person could be chosen. And I would like to invite my friend Jane Jogu. Please come up.
Born and raised in Kenya, Jane Jogu has built a lifelong career grounded in community service, social justice, and supporting people facing adversity. As the Homelessness Prevention and Outreach Coordinator with Mennonite Central Committee, British Columbia, she leads frontline efforts in Abbotsford and through the Fraser Valley Rent Bank to help individuals and families remain safely housed, offering advocacy, financial guidance, and culturally informed support. Jane also volunteers as board chair with Ravens Moon Resources Society and teaches financial literacy to low-income and newcomer communities across the Fraser Valley and Metro Vancouver.
I am not one to be speechless, but I am speechless, and it is an honor, a great, great honor. And I just want to first of all say thank you, Jesus, because there is no way we would have done this work without him continuing to give us a heart for the people. And so I am so grateful to be able to champion the cause of housing, because I firmly believe that when one has a roof over their head, especially as an immigrant or even any other person, you can begin again. You can dream again. You can start again through the culture shock and everything else. And to my brothers and sisters who we have journeyed together in the Rent Bank, I stand on the shoulders of Ron Van Wyck. His dream of taking the rent bank province-wide and challenging me to be a mother and love them. That's the only qualification I had. And so I leaned heavily on God because there's no way. But 16 years, by the grace of God, we managed to roll out the rent bank using the model that we initiated right through the entire province. So it's just amazing that we were able to support people and hear their pain and listen to their pain and pray with them, and they entrusted us with this pain. And we held it sacred because every human being is worth it. And I love what Jesus said. He left the 99 and went for the one. The value of the one. The value of the one. No one left behind. There is room for the table for the one. There is space for the one. No matter what culture you come from, no matter what nationality you come from, there's always room for the table, and the table can never, it's unlimited. And so I I share this award with my sisters and brothers and family as we share the meal we have shared for the last 10 years at MCC. And they came for the meal, but they stayed to serve. And so we're a family, brothers and sisters, journeying together in this journey of life and saying, I care, because God loves you and God gives you value. And you know what? You're not defined by how you look on the outside. Your identity is not who you are on the outside. Your identity is in who God says you are. And we are all broken, dressed up, broken. Not looking good, but broken. But we can lock arms together and lift each other up. And it's very transformational for every single one of them. For the sake of humanity, this is what my challenge is. Let's always lock arms. And you know what? See the invisible. See the one who's always being told no, 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 no. And you know what? Say yes, and you'll be amazed. You'll be amazed how your heart will be enlarged and transformed and changed to give value to each and every human being. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and I'm so grateful, so shocked, but really grateful. Thank you.
Congratulations. I'm not sure about all of you, but I am leaving tonight with a full heart. What an incredible evening. What extraordinary group of recipients. Congratulations once again to each and every one of you. Can we give them one more round of applause? And I want to thank all of you. We have stayed on time. As we move towards the conclusion of our awards presentation, I encourage you to carry the love and these incredible stories with you, not only this evening, but throughout the days, weeks, and months ahead. If you have been inspired tonight by our keynote speaker or by the work of our nominees and recipients, let that inspiration continue beyond these walls. Share their stories, hear their stories, and celebrate the impact. And most importantly, continue supporting the efforts that strengthen and connect this beautiful community. Let's keep this momentum going. Nominations are now open for next year's Cultural Diversity Awards. Yes, I want to be invited back for the 24th. If you know an individual, a business, or an organization that is truly making a difference, take the time to submit the nomination. There is incredible work happening across the Fraser Valley, and I think you'll all agree they deserve to be recognized. Before we close this evening, I want to thank again our judging panel who had the Herculean task of wading through all those incredible nominations. I want to thank the incredible sponsors for supporting this event. I also want to thank our elected officials who have made the time to join us this evening. And I do want to acknowledge that we missed one counselor from the city of Langley, Rosemary Wallace. Thank you as well for joining us this evening. Now, before we close the evening, I have one final and very special guest to invite to the stage. She has been the one responsible for my invitation to come and participate. I believe it is my 10th or 11th year. I also have to thank my friend at the CBC, Mark Forsyth, who for 1 year could not MC and asked if I would step in. I have never given the job up. So I want to thank Mark Forsyth for relinquishing the MC duties. I do love coming to this community. I have the privilege at the CBC and elsewhere to share the positive stories of community, to uplift community leaders, and to uplift organizations. I always say I have the best job possible. There's only one other individual that would disagree, and that is Manpreet Gruel, the Director of Multicultural Immigrant Integration Services at Archway Community Services. Manpreet!
Thank you, Fred. We always enjoy this evening, and on behalf of everybody who puts this together, there's a lot of hands, brains, eyes which put this together. We want to thank you, especially on behalf of the Archway Board. A lot of our members are here. Our leadership, Rod Santiago is our CEO here. Our founder, Walter Petko, is here. Our partners, you've heard about them over and over again, but I know Mission Community Services, Sean's here, as well as Chilliwack. I know Michelle's here. Yvonne is here from Langley, New Directions. Also, this wouldn't happen without the support of our sponsors, so really grateful to them. Our committee, planning committee, Chilliwack Community Services, Jean Manar, Mission Community Services, Kim Snow, Manpreet Broad, New Directions English Language School, Yvonne Hopp, Margaret Ann, Archway Community Services, always we have the largest team, Abinur Sidhu, Kelly Neufeld, Mirella, Muhi, Savannah Wade, and Tracy. Tracy and Sarah work endless hours to bring this evening together. I am going to say few more thank yous, but I wanted to say thank you to Adele. He's here. And some of us have had the pleasure of taking his class, which is on adaptive leadership. So I think I took it about 4 years ago. And couple of things which I held very close. I think you mentioned that there's a sacred space which you hold, which is your core you, and no matter what happens, you hold that space for yourself and operate from there. And then also, you sit in a window, like those were the visuals, that you kind of observe the situation from the top corner and then try and solve the problem. So those things always stayed. And then our other team members went and they said, okay, we have to get him here. So thank you for being here. And he's available to chat with everyone as well. And of course, Fred. Fred won the Vancouver Business Magazine's Power 50, if I'm saying it right, award just last month. So would you say he deserves to come back, just based on that? Yeah, we are so grateful. And so grateful to, some people are not visible, but Mitchell's Thai Bar Productions and Element 8 Studios, Brandon's here somewhere. The show is put on by a lot of techies as well. They've been helping us for the past 11 years. And of course, our venue, Clarion Hotel and Conference Center, they try and accommodate our needs, and we are really appreciative of them. And last but not the least, Sarah Bolton with Bolton Events, and Rebecca helps her out. She's the one who's in touch with all the sponsors. And of course, I said last but not the least, but the amazing energy which everybody brings. We would be nothing if people wouldn't be here to support the work which is being done. And as Fred said, nominations are open and people can start nominating again. Thank you for another fantastic year. Each one of you contribute in your own way. And I do have a little something for you. It's not like the Business Magazine Award, but you'll have to take our humble offerings, Fred. And with that, that's a wrap. I hope you all get to connect with each other, and Adele's here, Fred's here, learn from each other. Thank you.
Thank you, Manpreet. If I could get you to stay on the stage, Manpreet. Before we say goodnight, once again, a big round of applause to all of our nominees. And for all of the recipients this evening, if we could please invite you back up to the stage with your award. We're going to take a class photo and share with everyone, including our media friends. So without further ado, my name is Fred Lee. It's always a pleasure to be here. Thank you for the hospitality. Please get home safely. If you need any assistance, speak to our staff. And I look forward to seeing everyone in 2027. Have a good night, everyone.